Hi, I'm Alison from Conscious Parents, Conscious
All
Kids,
right.
and I'd love to introduce you to our fabulous facilitators around the globe. And today I'm talking with Chandana Bawa from New Delhi in India. Hello, Chandana. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, Alison. Thank
Hi.
you for having me on.
So if you could just start with telling us a little bit about yourself and your background.
I grew up in India with the culture that specifies us to be right always, which puts all the pressure on us, if I can use that word, to never make a wrong step. Having said that, I did have a rather, if I can use the word here, liberal upbringing, where my parents were not the orthodox Indians that you find in India. But they did give me the opportunity, they did give me the chance to move out and do my stuff the way I would like to and the way I would create my own life. And I did my 4 years of psychology, and I always wanted to become a counselor. Instead of becoming a counselor, I chose to get married. And when I got married, I realized that what if I could have still pursued to be and do something with counseling? And then I kind of gave it up. I'm like, oh, that's never possible. Now I've had my kids, and now I just have to be the good mom who looks after my children. And, I have to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect daughter, the perfect Indian woman with all the values, with all the correct values. So I can instill those in my children too. And my kids can be proud of me, and I can be proud of my kids. And the world can tell me that how good my children are. That was something that was so important to me, like my kids have to grow up the correct way. I started to choose a lot of challenges along the path because I started to have something known as fibromyalgia, which slowly crept into my body. And it started to almost cripple my body with the pain. Along with that, I started to create more crap with my relationships with friends and with family. And, when you're pushed against the wall, Alison,
Yeah.
you really have nowhere to go, but either to break the wall or to turn back. And that's what I did. And with that, everything changed. I mean, my fibromyalgia, which I had so happily kept for so many years, almost 25 years, close to my heart, saying it's mine, and I have fibromyalgia. I just gave it up.
So what led you interested into Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids specifically?
When I became a bars facilitator, I remember asking somebody, can I do a short class? And they said, no, you have to be a CF to do a short class. But you can do something like a little intro, And I remember calling my intro Consciousness for Kids, because what if we can have consciousness for kids? And at that time, I had just read the book Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids, and it was something that was so interesting. And so my older daughter was born 3 years after my marriage, and she was born premature. She was just born six months, 3 weeks. I would just hold her against my chest for hours in the hospital, just talking to her. And the sisters would walk by and just smile, and they would look at me with that look that, oh my God, she's going cuckoo. And and the doctor would tell me, that's a really good thing you're doing. But there was nothing to it. It was just something that I was doing, right? For me, it was more of, I was conversing with this little child, and I was telling her how important she is for me. And she would bloom every day. I would go to the hospital, because she was in the hospital for about a month, in the nursery, first in the incubator and then in the nursery. I would go every day, and out of 24 hours, I would be in the hospital for about 18 hours, just holding her against my chest and just speaking with her and just talking with her and just, just getting that energy going with her, touching me, my skin, smelling me, hearing my heartbeat. And then she came home, beautiful, lovely child of mine, and she's 26 now. And I did not have another one for 10 years because of the fibromyalgia that I had. The doctor said I couldn't have another baby. And my second one came along. In this reality, they say, totally unplanned child. Yet I know she chose me for a purpose. She chose me to make sure that I change my reality. Because there's this future that the children actually bring with them. They're aware of this future that they bring with them, and they have you choose it.
So if there was a message that you'd like to deliver to the world about conscious parenting, what would that be?
If they would really like to have ease with their parenting, is to step out of judgment of themselves as a parent. If you screw up your parenting, you are a failure. You know, that is something that is so ingrained in all of us.
Reality. Yeah.
In this reality, it is so rational. It has to follow a certain pattern. When they're born, the milk, the amount of milk that they drink, what food they eat, what school they go to, what courses they study, how they start to work, their relationships that they have, even the friends that they make, you know, are based on our judgments of who they should be friendly with. It's so ingrained on us as parents to be the perfect parent. And something that I love asking all the parents here is, are you willing to be perfectly imperfect as a parent?
Yeah, sounds good.
Right? How freeing is that? You create the space for your kids to get out of judging themselves. You create a space for them to know that, hey, this is just a choice. And you know, if it didn't work for you, it's okay. Make another choice. So often parents turn around and say, you know, I don't know what I did wrong that my child turned out like this. Oh my God, what if it really has nothing to do with you?
Yeah.
You know? They come in with the perception of the future that they're going to create for themselves, and they are aware of what is possible in the future. That's what parenting is, because you're actually parenting in the moment to create a future.
So just to finish up, do you have a favourite tool that you'd like to share with the listeners that they can sort of, as soon as they stop watching this video, they can use it straight away with parenting?
One of my favourite to-go-to tool is interesting point of view with kids. And to be an allowance. And allowance doesn't mean being a doormat. Allowance doesn't mean that you allow the kids to just do what they want to and get away with it. Allowance is actually looking at their choices, at something that they are making. And if it doesn't work for you, you tell them it doesn't work for you. It's about showing them that, you know, this choice that you're making is cool. But are you aware of what it's going to create for you in the future? And if you're still choosing that, go ahead with it. And the kids have a sense of what it's going to create when you put it across that way. For instance, if the child's not studying and they have an exam 2 days later, allowance doesn't mean that you let the child watch TV and I'm being a good conscious parent. You know, it's more of you know, telling the child, hey, that's great that you're enjoying your television, but you have 2 days, and you know, whatever you do right now will create something 2 days from now.
You mentioned interesting point of view as a tool. Can you explain that a little bit for people who haven't heard of it before?
So when we have something coming up around us, something like this kind of a situation where we go into, oh, why isn't she studying? Why don't you sit down to study? Don't you see your exams are coming up? And you know, you go into all that, that kind of a space.
Yeah.
That doesn't really create anything, because all that it does is has your child reacting to you because of your reaction. And it has your child rejecting everything that you are telling them to do, because when you tell them to do, they're going to do just the opposite, right? So when you're looking at them and looking at the choices they're making, instead of going into reaction, or instead of, you know, being in that space of, oh yeah, you're absolutely right, and agreeing and aligning with them, or saying that, oh my God, you're just wrong and you don't listen to me and you don't get what I'm trying to tell you. Instead of that, if you could just say interesting point of view, you know, and just get yourself into that, you know, that space of having no judgment and no point of view about how it's going to show up, what is going to show up. Because so often when we have a judgment of them doing something, and generally it's doing something wrong, that's generally what shows up, because that is what we are projecting on them. You know, energetically. And the kids are really good with energy. They get that instantly. You may turn around and say, but I didn't say anything. You don't have to. Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
they get it. They get it.
Mm.
They get it energetically. It's about getting yourself into a space of no judgment, right? Instead of judging what is wrong or what is not correct, you're actually allowing that situation to create itself, to unfold in a manner that could be something that even you're like, wow, how did that show up? I thought she was going to flunk. She didn't study.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, Chandana. And
Thank you,
and
Alison.
for everyone out there, I hope we see you sometime in a Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids class, online or live, somewhere around the world. Thank you.